Why is it that moms can physically leave the house, but mentally we never really leave at all? Have you ever had to leave town for a work trip or an event by yourself? Not only do you have to plan your own trip, but you spend weeks preparing everyone else's life while you're gone. Because that's where I'm at right now. I'm headed to Arizona for a mastermind event. My husband and daughter are heading to Orlando for a diving competition. My parents are flying in from New York to watch my boys. It's Father's Day weekend. It's my husband's birthday. And honestly, I feel like I've spent more time planning everybody else's schedule than my own trip. Making sure my daughter has everything she needs for diving, making sure my parents know where everyone needs to be, making sure airport pickups are covered, making sure work is handled, making sure the boys get all their activities, making sure nothing falls through the cracks. And it got me thinking, why is it that moms can physically leave the house, but mentally we never really leave at all? Welcome back to Struggle and Strength, Mom's Balancing It All with Nikki. Today, we're talking about something I think almost every mom experiences, but very few people talk about the invisible mental load of motherhood. Not the laundry, not the driving, not the cooking, the thinking, the remembering, the planning, the anticipating, the carrying of a thousand little details that nobody else even realizes that even exist. And I don't fully appreciate how much mental space it takes up until I started preparing for this week. So, this week feels like a giant game of air traffic control for me. I'm having to fly to Arizona for a mastermind. And when I went to book this, I told my husband, I said, look, the week that I'm going to be gone is also the week that our daughter, if she makes it to this national championship, it will be that week. And he was like, "Oh, no problem. Not a big deal. I've got it." Okay. Yeah. Well, let me just tell you, like, my parents are out of town. We have nobody else. So that means that I'm gone. He has three kids, all different activities, mostly at the same time. And then he has to leave. And then who's going to be with our boys? Because let's face it, the boys don't necessarily really want to go to my daughter's diving like all the time. Now they go mostly, but not like, they don't have to go to every single one, and we're traveling a lot this summer for her diving. Let me tell you, there's, like, 3 or 4 trips. This is probably the most we've ever done for diving, this year, but it's for the experiences, it's super fun. However, we can't keep taking the whole entire family, like, that's just insane. Plus, what are they gonna do while she's diving? But my parents are having to fly back from New York in order to take care of the boys. And then, of course, today is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all those fathers out there. And then, of course, tomorrow's his birthday. So it's like boom, boom, boom. And then, of course, I'm traveling on his birthday. And then I've got work deadlines and diving schedules and soccer schedules and airport pickups. It's just driving my brain insane right now. I know you understand what I'm feeling like because it's like, even if you go if you let's say you have a work event that you have to do, and even one night of dinner, it's like planning like a week, right? You have to organize all these different things. And the funny thing is that if someone looked at my calendar, they would probably think that the hardest part is actually my trip, but it isn't. It's packing my suitcase is the easy part. I was able, thankfully, to do that last night. The hard part is actually making sure that everybody else's life continues to run smoothly while I'm gone. And here's what I realized is that most moms aren't carrying a physical load. We're carrying a mental one. Like, why is it that my husband has no idea like where things are in the house and we've lived here for over 6 years? Why is it that I am the only one that knows where my daughter's diving suits are, or which warm-up she prefers, or what snacks she wants to bring? And then it's like, what groceries do we need while I'm gone and my husband's gone for the boys and my parents? And I feel like how do I describe this feeling? I know that my husband's gonna do a great job taking her to Orlando and getting her to the diving meets, but it's different. I'm not there. I'm not there to cheer her on. I'm not there to see her or to like, it's that control factor, I think, that I struggle with is just not being the one that is there during those moments. And a lot of me feels guilty, but at the same time, like the day that she has to go to diving is the day that my mastermind is. So I can't just not go. And I've paid all this money to go. And I'm super excited. I'm going to be in a room full of really amazing people. And it's going to be great for me. But that's the hard part. Like, when do we ever think of ourselves or do anything for ourselves? I can tell you the very first moment, which is kind of the reason why I started this podcast, that I ever put myself first was there was this woman named Kathy Heller, and she's all about, she does a podcast, but she also runs a program. And I went to her summit. It was 2 Novembers ago. I remember it clearly. It was in Los Angeles, and it was called the It's Her Turn Summit. And it was all about us moms and taking our turn for ourselves. And from that moment on, I have been putting myself first, which I haven't really done. And I'm not going to say all the time, but I'm going to say that I'm actually like believing in myself, investing in myself. And so from that moment, then that's when I started my podcast because she was helping us start podcasts. And so that's where kind of the struggle and strength of Moms Balancing It All really began was 2 Novembers ago. And I just wanted to share my stories about my life because it turns out as I'm posting things, a lot of other moms are feeling the same thing. Like, I just posted that, I made my mom chief office completed this week, and I automated it, and it's been heavenly delicious. Let me just tell you this. I made a landing page that is for our family. It's password protected, so no one can get into it but our family. And if this resonates with you, this is what I'm going to be doing moving forward is showing moms how to do this. But it's a command center, it's a landing page. You can go to the URL, and on there, then it has all of our family events for the day basically, but it shows you the day and then the next day. So you just focus on the one day and it has all my kids listed, what events they have, where they're at, like for me and my husband, what we're doing, if we're going to a workout or work or if I have a meeting. That way, like he knows, I know. And then there's a meal planning so that we don't even have to guess. Like I don't it's not like what's for dinner tonight or what are you getting out for dinner? It's on my command center. It tells me what I'm going to be doing. And so all I have to do, I don't even have to think anymore, which is amazing. But this is where like this is all coming back, like the struggles, the strength, like, and so I posted about it and there's all these moms saying, "Oh my gosh, 100% this is me." Like we're the human Google for our family. Mom, what's this? Mom, what's for dinner? Mom, what do we have on the schedule today? It's so many mommy, like all these things. And before anyone misunderstands what I'm saying here, like our husbands, our families, they're not like a bother or a burden to us, but they're not the ones holding in all of this mental load that we have. They're not the ones thinking 20 steps ahead of everybody else or anticipating needs or planning the schedules or the holidays or let's be honest, like all the other things that go involved with that, like we've got to work with Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy and all these other things to help them get good gifts for the kids. And seems like that mental load all falls on our shoulders. And so I'm just acknowledging here something that many moms experience is that we become the keeper of the information. We become the family operating system, the project manager, the one holding all the tabs open. All those 47 tabs that you keep open on your computer, I have like 3 screens of that. So times 3, but it's all up here in in my mental brain, holding it all together. Like, I woke up the other night, actually, before I even went to bed, and I thought, "Oh my gosh, I scheduled my husband and daughter's hotel and flight, but I totally forgot their car, and they have to go from Tampa to Orlando because it was cheaper to fly in that way." And, like, of course, I'm having to arrange all of this, like, go in and do the research and find the flights and book all the things. And so I literally just booked their car, like, a day ago, and I was like, "Oh, I got your car, by the way." And then same thing for me. I'm sharing a house with all these 5 women, and we had gotten a car, but I'm like, "Hey, I've got a client meeting," and so it's like, "And then who's gonna pick us up?" and all these things, and they're like, "Oh, you'll probably have to Uber." I'm like, "Oh, well, let me just get my own car because I need the flexibility and freedom." So, it's just there's so many things that we're having to continuously, like, do in our brains and then like, physically do like, do. I have to book this, I have to book that, I have to pack, I have to do all these things, and no one else in our family is doing all of that. Somehow it always falls on our shoulders. And I started asking myself something. How much of this am I carrying because I have to? And how much of it am I carrying because I'm afraid to let go? And that question hit me hard because let's be honest, I think the majority of moms are all kind of control freaks. We like to control our environment, we like to control the outcomes, we like to control our kids. It's always thinking ahead, but like I don't really see it as controlling. I see it as like being prepared or being cautious or what like it's like I went running yesterday with the boys, and as we're running there's like uneven pavement. I'm like, watch out for the uneven pavement, and I'm like, watch out for the sticks in the and it's like that can be seen as controlling, right? But also on my end I'm like, I'm just being protective because I don't want to have them trip and fall and then have to go to the emergency room. So as some people may call it controlling, other people see it as being safe and cautious, and but somewhere along the way, I've convinced myself that if I don't think about it, nobody else will. If I don't remember it, nobody will. If I don't organize it, nobody will. And sometimes that's true. But sometimes it isn't, and I don't feel like sometimes I give my husband enough credit for some of the things. He's fully capable of taking my daughter to Orlando. He's fully capable of driving her to and from, doing the schedules, handling all the things, organizing with the people there, taking her out to dinner with for the team dinner and everything. He's done it before. He's gone down to Houston, done the things. But then again, like, I'm not there. I'm not the one helping. I'm not the one organizing. I'm not the one overseeing it. And that I think is that we get so used to carrying everything that we almost forget that other people in our lives are capable too. So let that sink in. I really want you to think about that because now that I have my command center and I don't have to think about that, that's one less thing on my plate. But I also need to not stress this week while I'm trying to enjoy my mastermind that my husband can also carry the mental load this week as long as I give him all the things that to tools in his toolbox to be successful, which I am. I'm having my parents help out. I'm telling him what we're going to do, how to arrange all the things. Like he's fully capable of doing everything else. So I want you to start thinking in that manner. Like, what are we trying to manage or control that other people can do? We're just not giving them the credit or maybe the opportunity to do that. And one of the things I've been talking about recently on the podcast is values. My values are family, health, being present, living intentionally. And this week made me realize something. If one of my values is being present, then I can't spend my entire trip worrying about everything happening back home. I have to be there for myself. I have to let it be, know that I've done everything in my control to make the week successful for everyone in their in my family, and it will be. And if one of my values is growth, then I need to allow myself to fully experience this mastermind. And if one of my values is family, then I have to trust the people who love my family enough to help carry some of the load. My parents love my children. They're gonna be there. They're gonna do everything in their power to make sure they're safe, they have everything they need, and that they're having a great time. And my husband loves my daughter. He's not gonna put her in any kind of dangerous situations or not be there when she needs. Like, he knows how important her diving is, and he's fully capable of doing all of that. They're not me. I realize that. They're going to do things differently than I would, and that's okay. Now, can you say that with me? That's okay if they do things differently. Different doesn't mean wrong. I think one of the hardest transitions for moms is learning the difference between responsibility and control. Being responsible is good, but trying to control everything, it's exhausting. And if we're honest, sometimes what wears us out isn't the actual work. It's trying to mentally manage every possible outcome, every possible problem, every possible forgotten item, every possible scenario. And it's like carrying around a giant backpack filled with things that haven't even happened yet. No wonder we're so tired and exhausted all the time. So, if you're listening to this and you're preparing for a trip or a night out by yourself or a busy week, or honestly, just life in general, I want you to ask yourself something. What am I carrying that someone else could help carry? What am I worrying about that doesn't need my attention right now? And where am I confusing responsibility with control? Because maybe the goal isn't to hold everything together. Maybe the goal is to trust that everything won't fall apart if you put something down. So, as I head to Arizona this week, that's what I'm going to work on. Trusting, letting go, and believing that my family is capable. Believing that I don't have to manage every detail from 1,000 miles away. And believing that sometimes the strongest thing a mom can do is stop carrying everything by herself. So, thank you for joining me for another episode of Struggle and Strength Moms Balancing It All with Nikki. If this episode resonated with you, send it to another mom who feels like she has 47 browser tabs open in her brain, because I promise you, she'll understand exactly what we're talking about. And until next time, remember, you don't have to carry it all.